As was forecast, the storm rolled in overnight, bringing with it periods of heavy rain and high winds. This was a planned layover day, so I was okay with just hunkering down and staying in camp. Although it didn't rain during the day, the threat was always there. I didn't take much video during the day, but spent time back in the woods where the wind didn't penetrate, doing some macro photography. Thankfully, this site provided a wide variety of subjects. Eventually, it was time for dinner. Dinner tonight is Mountain House chicken and dumplings. Yum. Love this one. That's stroganoff. It's not stroganoff. I still like it. Been steeping for 10 minutes, so looks good. One more stir. Definitely a thumbs up. That's kind of what it looks like. There's chicken in there, there's peas, carrots, and dumplings. You see, I'm eating underneath the tarp. It hasn't rained since first thing this morning, but it keeps looking like it's going to, and I'm afraid if I start doing something like cooking dinner out by the kitchen area, it will get hit by rain, so I figured might as well cook under here and be safe rather than sorry. And I don't know, so far it's been working out. Yep, it's working out that I haven't needed to, but it doesn't make much difference. Been hanging out underneath the tarp almost all day. Went out and got some photos earlier on, some more macro shots, more mushrooms, more fun guys. Sam and I sat out on the rock porch for a while. But it's awfully windy out there. At least back in here it's sheltered. A little bit warmer. Sun tried to come out a couple of times today without too much success. But been kind of a boring day. Been a do-nothing day. Actually, just out what the doctor ordered after the last 2 days of traveling. Unfortunately, we do have probably 2 more days of this before we can move again. So, unfortunately, tomorrow the winds are supposed to come in from the west, which means they're going to be coming straight into the campsite. And it's either tomorrow or Wednesday, I can't remember which one, though we're supposed to have gusts up to 30 miles an hour. I think that's Wednesday. Tomorrow it's only supposed to be 25 miles an hour, but gusts up to 30 miles an hour on Wednesday, so that could get interesting in here. It's supposed to be a higher chance of rain as well. Both of the, well, definitely tomorrow and possibly Wednesday. So it's not going to be a fun time. Oh good, I got her. Not going to be a fun time, but hey, I'm out in the woods. I'm out in the lake country. A day out here is better than a bad day at home. No, the other way around. A bad day here is better than a good day at home. Okay. Something like that. Anyway. We'll make it through, and hopefully weather right now, it sounds like the weather's supposed to be better on Thursday and Friday. And so Thursday I ought to be able to move on from here, and Friday I ought to be able to get out on schedule. So we'll see what happens anyway. But that's what I know for now. Take you out in the woods here and show you how I clean up after supper. After every meal for that matter. Well, breakfast and supper anyway. So what I do is I go well back into the woods from camp. The rules are that you go 200 feet. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't estimate 200 feet all that well. However, I know that the latrine is also supposed to be about 200 feet from camp, so I figure if I'm as far away from camp as what the latrine is, I'm doing okay. So anyway, but in this case, I'm not even going towards the latrine. I'm just, again, about the same distance from camp. And what I do is I try to find, if I can, a stump or a flat rock or something like that. And so there's this rock here. Maybe it's an old stump. I can't tell. Maybe it's an old stump. Kind of flat. Now, the thing with freeze-dried food is there's not really a lot to clean up. I've got the dog's bowl. I have the spoon. And it's actually in the pouch here. Try to do this one-handed. So, I've got my spoon, and I have the pouch that the food was in. Now that doesn't really necessarily need to be washed per se, but to cut down on odors, both so I don't attract bears, and also so that after 15 days I don't have a smelly pack, I go ahead and clean that out anyway. So here's what I do. Hot water from supper. I always do more than what I need for supper. And it's really quite simple. I just open up the pouch and get some of this biodegradable camp soap. And again, even though it's biodegradable, you don't want to use it near the lake. Use it out back in, like I said, away from camp. I'll put a little drop in Sam's bowl there. Have to wash out his bowl because, as well as his biscuits, I gave him a little bit of my chicken and dumplings tonight too. I usually do give him a little bit of whatever I'm having. Okay. And the other thing then is that, okay, put a little bit of water in there. Squeeze some of the air out of there. Do this up. Shake it. I found that it's really critical that you seal this, or that you get some air out before you seal it. Because if you don't, when you shake it, it tends to burst open again, and then you get water and stuff all over you. Okay, in this case, chicken and dumplings don't leave much residue, so I can go ahead and use that to wash my spoon. So that's another reason for washing the pouch out, is it gives me a sink for washing my spoon. So wash that real well. And then put a little bit of water in the dog dish. Wash that out real well. He didn't actually leave much in there tonight. He licked the bowl clean, but still, yeah. And then you can just dump that on the ground, that water on the ground. Doesn't matter. Again, it's biodegradable soap, so it's not going to hurt anything. Okay. I can put the spoon in there. Get that water out. Now this isn't going to be eaten out of, so I don't have to worry about rinsing up. I just fold it up, zip it up, and that can go into my garbage bag. And now I don't, like I said, I don't have to worry about that smelling at all, or much anyway. And then rinse off my spoon and the dog dish. And then put the soap back in the Ziploc. And that's for food storage on this trip. I used 2 of these counter assault bear kegs. Thanks, Sam. One of them is mine. The other one I borrowed from friends. Thank you, Barb and Mark, for loaning that to me. I usually, if I'm on a week-long trip, I'll just take mine. And then I also have this sack, and mostly what's in the sack, well, now all that's in the sack are all my freeze-dried meals. And in the bear keg I keep all the other food, the more odoriferous type, and my garbage goes in the bear kegs. So that's what I use for food storage. The bear kegs I just set out in the woods. The sack I tie to a tree. I don't hang it. I just tie it to a tree. away from the bear kegs, because I figure the bear kegs are going to be what attracts any bears or other wildlife. And so I tie this on a tree, to a tree trunk, a little ways away from the bear kegs. So if the bear kegs do attract anything, hopefully the bag won't. It's again, it's an Ursack. It's been tested on grizzly bears, and grizzly bears haven't been able to get into it. However, I do hear that rodents can get into it, but so far, so good. I haven't had any problems with it. Can't remember, I got this a couple of years ago. Done a few trips with it. Of course, to date, I haven't had any bears in camp at all. Of course, you always get the rodents. Chipmunks, squirrels. Later in the year, you start having problems with mice. But again, I've never had any problem. I haven't had any problems yet with any of my food. Doing it this way. The main thing is just to keep a clean camp and try to keep the odors down as much as possible. And again, the way I keep the odors down is I wash out my empty freeze-dried food bags, keep everything in Ziplocs as much as possible. I guess I shouldn't call them Ziplocs, zippered. Just be aware that the makers of the Ursack do recommend that you still hang the bag instead of tying it to a tree like I do. Although on their website they show it tied to a tree. So, do what you feel comfortable with. Don't just take my word for it. Research things, see what other people's experiences are. All I can say is that so far my method has been working for me. Well, let me get dinner done, wash up done, everything else before it started raining. As usual, it sounds like it's raining a lot harder than it is on the tarp. I had to go out in it a couple of times and it's really not all that bad, but it is raining. So after a day of looking like it was going to rain all day long, it finally is. So it looks like Sam and I are going to be spending our evening here under the tarp. Maybe making occasional forays out for whatever, but I think we're going to be sitting here for a while. Oh well. That's the way it goes sometimes. Well, it's just a little bit after 8 o'clock now, and we're in the tent. And Sam's, I don't know if you can see him. Now you can see him. Sam's over there, making himself comfortable on my sleeping bag. Getting my sleeping pad all wet. So anyway, turn that off so I won't break. I've got 2 batteries charging up. That's the end of day 11 of the trip, and I'll catch you in the morning. Maybe Mark's out. Well, it's after breakfast, and I cleaned up, and Sam and I have retreated to the tent for a while. It's pretty nasty out there, and unfortunately the wind is coming straight into the campsite right now. When I went back into the woods to wash dishes, it actually wasn't too bad back there, but here we got the wind coming straight off the lake. So, yeah, I'm going to sit in here for a while. I might go out and get pictures later on, but how many pictures of mushrooms do I need? Yeah, it's nice and cozy in the tent. This almost reminds me of when I got pinned down on Little Sag back in, I think that was 2015, about the same time of year. Only it's not quite as cold as it was then, thankfully. And if I remember rightly, it was in the 40s and 50s at that time. It's supposed to get up into the low 60s today, so not quite as bad, not quite as cold, but it's still pretty miserable. And the problem is, it's like that time, this is supposed to go on for a couple of days. Yeah. Bad news is that the winds are supposed to continue through Thursday with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Definitely not canoeing weather. So I may end up having to go straight out from here on Friday. Means doing the Tuscarora to missing link portage again in reverse. Will make for a very tough day to have that portage, the other one into Round Lake, and then a 7-hour drive home. Because what I had been planning on doing was Thursday moving over to Snipe Lake, going through the Howell Swamp portage, going over to Snipe Lake, and then from Snipe Lake there's a 180 rod portage, I think, back into Missing Link. So that was the way I was planning to go. Still exiting on Friday, but yeah, we'll see how things play out. But it's not looking good, not sounding good for traveling on Thursday even now. Friday is supposed to be sunny, mostly sunny if I remember correctly. No mention of rain. Highs in the 60s. So should be a good day. Just that I'm gonna have to probably do that horrible portage again. At least this time I won't have 15 days of food on to carry. 15 days of garbage instead. With the wind blowing straight into the site, I was really starting to regret my decision to stay there. As nice as the site was, I was wishing I'd found something a bit more sheltered. Nothing I could do at this point but make the most of it. Probably about 2:15, and I'm back in the tent again. We're back in the tent again. Sammy's in here somewhere. I was out after lunch. I went out and I was getting some more macro shots. I hope you guys like my mushroom pictures. Got lots of, I was taking mushroom, well, not just mushrooms, but macro shots. And Sam came up to me, and it was almost like he was saying, "Dad, I think we better make our way back to the camp." It's okay, Sam. Just got to take 1 or 2 more pictures. Dad, I think we better get back to the camp. So finally, I wrapped things up, and I headed for the tarp. And we got there just before a major shower hit. It was tipping down like crazy and blowing in under the tarp. It would have been better to have been in the tent. Unfortunately, the only camera I had with me didn't have a lens on it suitable for taking video of the event. All my other cameras that would have been more suitable were here in the tent. So I didn't get to film that for you. Instead, I get to talk to you about it. So anyway, we're back in the tent again. It looks like another shower might be on its way. It's getting kind of dark out there again. So we'll probably cool it in here for about 45 minutes or so. About 3 o'clock-ish, we'll get up again. Get out again, weather permitting. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. It does look like another shower might be heading our way. Hi, Sam. Get out of the way so that people can see what I'm doing. Oh, I got these sharp enough or not. We'll find out. Watch out. Get your nose out of the way. Dinner this night would be Mountain House lasagna, another large meal that I had split and repackaged in a bag from Packet Gourmet. Well, we're done with supper. A long time ago. Lasagna was definitely a thumbs up. It always is. I was going to go into the tent, but Sam decided he'd sit on my lap. Now he's shivering like a leaf. Haven't had any more rain. We had a little bit of drizzle, but other than that, no rain, just a lot of wind, although that seems to be dying down a little bit right now. And, you know, mostly cloudy, but once in a while we get a gap where we see sun. So, sit out here for a while, have evening snack, put the food away, and head to bed. Haven't seen anybody all day, not surprising, given the weather conditions. But of course I haven't been down by the lake very much either. I'm pretty sure I heard voices now coming from the direction of the site, the westernmost site on the lake, which is hidden from view by the island out there. So I think I do have neighbors, but other than that, like I said, it's been pretty quiet, people-wise, not wind-wise, that's for sure. When we dream about trips to the Boundary Waters, or anywhere similar, we imagine sunny skies, moderate temperatures, calm conditions. We don't think much about the mosquitoes, tough portages, and other hardships. But a trip is usually a combination of the good and the bad, even the downright ugly. It pays to build flexibility into the schedule. When I go solo, I'm extra cautious. Not only is it easier to get in trouble by myself, it's also tougher to get out of trouble. Others in a tandem canoe may very successfully venture out in rough weather. I choose to err on the side of caution and sit tight. Morning. It's about 7:35 Wednesday, I think, the 28th that would be. Wow, what a night. Wind's been blowing all night, been raining off and on. Not heavy rain, just wind-driven light rain. But it's been nasty. I got up about probably about 6:30, quarter to 7, somewhere in there. Did the necessary stuff outside. Grabbed some blueberry granola for breakfast, so I didn't have to cook and mess with all that stuff. And now Sam and I are back in the tent again. Sam's all wrapped up in his blanket. I'm all wrapped up in my sleeping bag. It isn't fit for man nor beast out there today. Yeah. Later on, the sun is supposed to come out as the clouds are supposed to clear. Unfortunately, then again tonight we got another round of showers moving in. This 30-mile-an-hour wind gust is supposed to continue through tomorrow. When they first started talking about winds on Friday, they were saying about still having high wind gusts on Friday as well. Forecast this morning, there's nothing about wind gusts, so keeping my fingers crossed on that. I had been thinking that if we had to face wind gusts on Friday anyway, when it cleared this afternoon, maybe making a run for it. But if there's a hope of getting out of here on calmer waters on Friday, I guess I'll hang tough. Friday was my planned exit date. Of course, I wasn't planning on spending 4 days cooped up between a tent and a tarp during that time either. So just trying to stay flexible and manage the weather conditions as best as I can. So gonna nap for a while, I guess, I'll get up for my 10 o'clock snack sometime. That's a couple hours away now. And we'll see whether the skies do clear or not, and whether it warms up at all. After lunch, I decided to come and explore the other end of the island, see if we could get out of the wind. And sure enough, I was able to get out of the wind. Unfortunately, it's starting to rain again. So much for that idea. Brought my chair over here, a water bottle, a water filter. Figured I could hang out over here this afternoon. Since it wasn't supposed to be raining this afternoon, according to the weatherman. Can't trust those guys further than you can throw them. And it's only a little bit of drizzle right now, but still, I don't want to get soaking wet either. I think I'll go ahead and pump some water anyway, filter some water. Can't do it on the other side. Waves are just too bad, too strong, crashing on shore. So I guess I'll pump some water and I'll head back to camp in the tent. Late in the afternoon, the sun did start coming out, but of course the wind kept howling. Time, Sam? Supper time? Ready for some supper? Ready for some din-dins? Are you? Okay, yeah, me too. For dinner tonight we have a backpacker's pantry fettuccine alfredo with chicken. I think I had this for the first time either last year or the year before. I cannot remember for sure. Pretty sure I had it before. Can't remember whether I liked it or not. So I've got it again this trip, and we'll see whether it gets a thumbs up or not. I don't know why it shouldn't. Rich and creamy Alfredo sauce tossed with roasted red peppers, white meat chicken, and imported pasta. So, yeah, we'll find out. I cannot find the oxygen absorber in here. Oh well, I guess maybe I'll find it while I'm eating. But they say that it doesn't matter if you leave it in there, as long as you don't eat it. So, well, here it goes. Find out. It says rich and creamy Alfredo sauce. I see nothing rich or creamy in here at all. There's a little bit of moisture at the bottom. I did put 2 cups in, like it says. It's awfully dry. I mean, it's moist, but it's not. It's okay. It's edible. But overall, nah, I remember not to get this one again. Sam really likes it though. despite me stirring and restirring and stirring again several times, apparently I didn't stir enough, because now that I'm getting to the bottom, I'm starting to get to rich and creamy, and it's starting to get better. So I guess maybe the problem was me not stirring enough. I definitely, one or two of my subscribers have mentioned that I need to get a long-handled spoon. If I can find one, I'll get myself one. Because the problem is this package is so deep, I can't really get down into it to stir very easily. So anyway, maybe this isn't so bad after all. Maybe I'll have to give it another chance sometime and try to remember that I've got to stir it up a lot better. It's getting better. As you can see, there's not a cloud in the sky now. Unfortunately, the wind is coming from the same direction as the sun, so sitting out on our front porch is not an option, because even though we'd be in the sunshine, we'd also be in the wind, and the wind is still howling. So basically I'm on the back porch, back side of the island, out of the wind, unfortunately out of the sun. But it beats sitting around in the tent for another couple hours or whatever. Oh, I've had about enough of sitting in that tent. Tents are meant to be used overnight, not during the day. Anyway, unfortunately, tomorrow sounds like a carbon copy of today. It's supposed to cloud up, chance of rain after midnight tonight, and rain into tomorrow morning. More wind with gusts 25 to 30 miles an hour. Still out of the west. I think tomorrow it switches to the southwest at some point, but anyway, as long as it's coming out of the west somewhere, it's going to hit our campsite. And then it's supposed to gradually clear in the afternoon and evening. Still supposed to be wind gusts tomorrow evening though. Although tomorrow night it's supposed to calm down, and by Friday they're talking about winds between 5 and 10 miles an hour from the northwest. So sounds like Friday I'll be exiting. I'll be taking that rough portage again. So unfortunately I'm not going to get over to Snipe Lake like I wanted to for my last night. But after the last few nights I'm ready to go home anyway. If the winds were going to be calmer tomorrow, I'd probably just go ahead and do the rough portage and get out of here rather than spending the next night. Because these last few days have really been wearing. They really have. So anyway, but that's life here in canoe country. This time of year, you gotta expect the bitter with the good. getting kind of buggy on our back porch, so I decided to move back to the front. Not quite as windy anymore. We still have a gust every once in a while, but for the most part it's not going too badly, and it is keeping the bugs at bay. So out here enjoying the last rays of sunshine for the day. Not too bad out here in the sunshine, although I do have my fleece jacket on, my raincoat on to break the wind, and my rain pants on as wind pants. But anyway, yeah, at least salvage a little bit of the day. Still too choppy and windy out there to go for a paddle, unfortunately. So, once again, no evening paddle. You hear that? No, I don't hear anything either. No wind. No waves crashing on shore. Calm. You should be out paddling now. Wow. After all the wind we've had for the last couple of days, seems uncanny. Hard to believe that they're forecasting that in another few hours it's going to start all over again. Guess I need to savor it while I have it. Two to three. Rain has started. No wind yet. I guess that would come later. The winds on our side of the island seem to be worse than ever. So once again I retreated to the back porch, out of the wind. Pretty nice back here, nice and sunny, almost too sunny, but nice and warm. Sure hope that wind dies down for supper. Hate to have to bring all my cooking stuff and everything else back here. I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world if I did that. Sure is rough out there. I feel real sorry for the people who have to enter or exit today. Not the kind of day to be out there in a canoe. That's for sure. Not a good day for canoeing at all. Recently, on one of my videos, a viewer commented that he could do with less complaining. Yes, I do complain on my videos. Leeches, wind, rain, mosquitoes, sloped campsites, heat, cold, humidity, etc., etc. But I tell it like it is, what I'm feeling at the moment. I realize that this video too has a lot of complaints in it. Although I tried to make the best of it, it just wasn't the best of times. In the end, despite the complaints, I still have continued, will continue, to return. The bad times just make the good that much sweeter. And when all is said and done, the sweetness far exceeds the bitterness. Such is traveling in the wilderness. Turkey dinner casserole. Stuffing, white turkey, and vegetables. Like any day, turkey day. Casserole. What a fitting meal for my last supper out here on this trip. Now a while back one of my subscribers asked me to show what it looks like. So here you go. That's what it looks like. Not exactly Thanksgiving dinner, but it's good. And I don't even need to give you the thumbs up on this one. It gets that automatically. I think I get 2 paws up from Sam. Was that good, Sam?